I decided I'm going to go to the Peppermill.
Okay.
I went to the Peppermill. I won $67,000. I came back from the Peppermill and took my funds and went to the hotel across from the IHOP. And I went to lay down. I was tired. And so I had planned to go to breakfast early that morning anyway, I got up at 4:30. And apparently somebody followed me from the Peppermill. They followed me and they was waiting outside my door. I never made it to my car. I was going to go shopping, go grocery shopping, and take myself to breakfast at IHOP. I never made it to my car because someone hit me in the head from behind with 5 hammers on this side of my head. And apparently from the video, my brains were hanging out. I'm laying on my face. And someone took an axe right here on the corner with an axe in my head.
Oh, wow.
When the detective Abel of the Reno PD found me, he said, I knew in my heart that you wasn't gonna make it in your condition. So he said he took a plastic bag and pushed it. It's on the video, he pushed my brains back over in my head and laid me sideways in his detective car and drove me here. I spent 2 years in a coma. I never felt them hit me. He said that the security was running around doing meth. That's why they didn't see these guys sneak up behind you and bash your head out. So when I woke up from the coma, I was 260. I looked like, it's on my Facebook, a black Incredible Hulk. When I woke up from 260, I was 99 pounds. Literally, I looked like the Africans on the TV that's malnutrition and just skin over bones. I was 99 pounds, so I was nothing.
So did they ever find out who actually hit you in the head with the axe?
Yes, they are in jail for life, in prison for life.
Mm-hmm.
They found my car in Colorado,
Mm-hmm.
and because they took all my luggage, they took all my money, they took everything, even stuff in my room.
So do you feel that you were set up?
You know, they were just saying that someone followed you from Peppermill and wanted your money and wanted your car.
You went in a coma, you were in a coma for 2 years. When you came out the coma, did you have a proper support system to help you through the trauma and the drama?
No, not at all. I stayed about, I want to say 4 or 5 months after I came out of the coma. And then they put me back in the coma and stapled this that been in the freezer for 2 years.
What was this?
This head, this whole side head was in the freezer, this whole side. When I woke up, my head was flat. I looked like a monster. I mean, I looked like a monster. And so they gave me a little bit of therapy, stood me up. They had a hose coming out the top of my head. They made me stand between these 2 poles and forced me to stand to try to make me learn how to stand.
So let's talk about the injury. So when you got hit in the head, you obviously you passed out. So in the parking lot, when you woke up, you were in the hospital.
No.
What happened?
I didn't wake up till 2023.
Wow. So you never woke up?
No, I never woke up. Never.
So how did you find out what was going on and how they were, the person that hit you in the head, how did you find out they were caught?
Detective Abel came to they didn't know what to do with me. They didn't know really who I was. Came to the CARES campus because the hospital put me in the homeless shelter. They didn't know what else to do with me. But I was coming back 2 or 3 times a week back to the hospital. Apparently I shouldn't have been left out of the hospital. I wasn't in enough shape. So they just threw me there. So he came one day and he's explaining everything to me.
So what was that moment like for you when the officer actually came, Officer Abel, when he arrived? How did that go? Explain the process of that for me.
I was scared. I didn't know what was going on. I barely knew who I was. But he explained that who he was, and he said, I'm the one that found you. I'm the one that found you with the axe in your head and your brains hanging out, and I put you in my car because the rims was taking too long. And he showed me the video. I told him, I said, don't ever show me that again. He said the security was running around doing meth and no one was paying attention when people were running up behind you from around your front door of your room and then attacked you.
So do you know what hotel you were staying in when you were hit in the head? Do you remember where you checked in at?
Yeah, across from I was staying in El Camino, right across the street from the Pancake House on South Virginia. I was staying there.
And so, let me ask you this. After you found out, and the officer came and explained the whole situation to you, how did that make you feel?
Terrorized. I said, how did you find me? He said, I've been looking for you since 2021 of April. This is 23. He said, I've been looking for you. I said, really? He said, your name came across, and I wanted to see if it was really you, because I was pretty sure that you were going to be deceased.
Yeah. So how long was it that you were in the care campus before the officer actually contacted you after you were released from the hospital?
2.5 years.
2.5 years.
Yeah, 2.5 years. 23.
Why did it take them so long to contact you?
I have no idea. I have no idea. But at the time I was learning how to use the phone. I didn't know how to use the phone. I didn't even know who I was. But I accidentally found my family, my sister Barrett, on Facebook, that I had a family. I didn't even know I had a family. But I was in I was in a regular wheelchair. And I wasn't doing good. People had to come and pull me up from the bed and take me to the chair and help me use the toilet. I couldn't do nothing on my own.
Tony, how old are you right now?
I just turned 60.
Just turned 60.
Yes, November 22nd, while I was here in the hospital.
So you're born, what, 63?
No, 11/22, 65.
60, okay, 65. How old were you when this actually happened to you?
2021 of April.
About 56, 54.
Yeah.
Since then, this incident that have been where you're hitting head with the axe? How are you adjusting?
Well, I've been through hell, to put it that way. I had a hose. Well, they stapled my head back together. And I had this hole still in the top of my head, right in the middle, draining in a plastic bag. And I kept going to the hospital 2 or 3 times a week because I kept passing out in severe pain. And they said I was unfit to be in the homeless shelter. They said, you can't take care of yourself. So they was going to keep me out of the homeless shelter.
In that condition with a hole in your head, they were going to kick you out the homeless shelter as well?
Yes.
Okay. And did they offer you any resources?
No.
I had to take a breath on that. It's a little traumatizing. So let me ask you this. What do you want to say to the person that actually hit you in the head with the axe? If you were to see him right now,
The hammer and the axe.
the hammer and the axe, what would you say to that individual? In your own words, what would you say to them?
I don't think that I will have any words for it.
Do you forgive the person that did what they done to you?
I'm not there yet.
Okay, here's my next question. Do you feel justice was served to you as a victim?
No.
Why?
One, I'm still going through trauma. No, not at all. No.
Were you compensated for your injuries?
No, not yet.
When you say not yet, can you help me understand what that means?
I've been told that February of next year, I'm to receive $2.5 million because the hotel was found liable because they were running around the streets, running around doing meth. And of course, when I started somewhat being able to sit up on my own, I went to a park one time and I was getting shot at. And the detective told me, he says, I want you to stay in the homeless shelter because there's a lot of witnesses. Once you get past this next 2 court dates, he said they can't stop you from getting paid. I said, really? And that's what he told me. So whatever the 2.5 is, it's not a compensation.
I don't think 2.5 million is enough for anybody that suffers those type of injuries, but it's better than them not giving you anything at all. Maybe it will position you not to be in the same position of having to be into a, care facility or homeless shelter or on the streets. You're a really strong individual to have suffered through that type of pain and still have your sanity.
Let me add something. When I came out the coma, when I was able to somewhat speak and make words with a letter, they attempted to force me to accept hospice. And the doctor said, "Who are you?" I said, "You have to ask God that." They said, "We see how you scream," and because they kept me attached to the bed, because they didn't want me to pull out the hose. They said, "You have the whole floor of the hospital crying for you." They said, "What do you think about hospice?" And I couldn't do nothing but look at him. So the third time he came with this Asian lady, he said, "You want to consider hospice? We're doing this stuff for you. We know it's severely painful." I didn't have anything to say. They came back again. I said, "Let me tell you something." I said, "God did not allow me to live 2 years in a coma to make it through for me to kill myself or for y'all to kill me." I said, "I don't want your effing hospice." I said, "Now get the F out of here, and you take that little mean one that tells me you just give up and we'll make you as comfortable as possible, and then you die." I said, "Get the fuck out of my room and don't ever come back."
Okay.
They tried to force me to take hospice.
So let me ask you this, Tony. Can you please state your name and where you're from?
My name is Tony Glenn Hewitt. I'm originally from Shreveport, but I grew up mostly in Kansas City, Missouri.
What brought you to Reno, Nevada?
At the time, I was managing the Hyatt Regency. I got into some trouble with the law, and I went to do some prison time. I was picked up on my birthday on the way to, these associates were taking me to a strip club for my birthday. We got in the car and headed to the strip, and police pulled us over. I never made it to the strip club. And so I was supposed to do 7 years in prison. I mean, a total. But I ended up doing 12 years in the prison. I got out from the prison and went to Reno. That's how I made it to Reno. This happened in Las Vegas.
Where'd you do your prison time?
In Nevada, starting in Las Vegas, and then in NCC,
So,
and Carson City.
so when you got in trouble, what did you get in trouble for?
I'd rather not say.
When you were in the released from the hospital and put in the care camp for care, and you had some very serious injuries going on from being released from the hospital, how were you treated while you were residing at the care camp?
They kept saying you can't take care of yourself. I was going to the hospital about 3 times a week by EMS, and I was treated very badly.
What was the conditions like? Was it clean?
I didn't even know where I was. I thought I was in a nursing home, but it was a homeless shelter. They're saying they didn't know what else to do with me, so they dropped me off in the
Was any of your family contacted or?
No, I didn't even know that I had a family. But I kept trying to learn how to use the phone and Facebook. When I finally did get in contact with my family, they were screaming and crying. They said, "We've been looking for you for years." I said, "What happened?" And I explained to them what happened. They said, can you please come home?"
So, Tony, we have Tony Newman here, and he's going to share an experience that he actually endured while he was visiting a casino.